Let's just get straight into it. General gameplay adjustments. Move list corrections. Yes, that's always an issue with Mortal Kombat games. I'm sure there'll be plenty of issues with the moves list in Mortal Kombat Aftermath. Improvements to AI logic. Who cares? Added several new brutalities. That is always awesome. Pardon me. Practice and replay option setting button log now has an option for full, which will display right stick inputs. Okay, that's cool. Breakaway tutorial now includes a lesson for armor break attacks. Yes, so for those of you that are unaware, every character in the game now has an armor break attack. And what that does is, it means it breaks... Oh, thank you, Mercy Hamid.
Assemble.
Bless you, thank you very much for the host. Yeah, so every character in the game now has a mechanic where they can break through breakaways, and either it gives you a full combo. Sorry, I'm used to my camera being over there. I've changed my setup, so I looked over there like, hi! So they've changed it now so that every character has a way of breaking breakaways or other armor break moves like fatal blows. So what that means is that you can either, some characters you can potentially get a full combo, some characters you can cash out on a crushing blow instantly. So it's an interesting new mechanic. We're definitely going to go through all of those as well. Right stick inputs no longer scan when performing combo attacks. Alright, fine. Fixed issue, which would cause certain characters pop to appear in the victory cutscene. Fine. Fixed issue, damage sounds persisting after a critality. Yep, that's always a funny bug. Yeah, I know. Shao get... Yes, I know. We'll get to Shao, but let's just say, dang. Added new options in practice mode, which allows timing to be adjusted. Ooh, that's interesting, especially with the armor break options. So now you can, so you could always do in breakaway short or long, and now they've done it so that you can, because people can choose when to break in your combo. So if you set it on normal breakaway, they just break away at the earliest available opportunity, but now you can set it so that you can do your combos and stuff. That's really cool. Fixed issue that could cause practice mode, fine. Fixed practice mode issue called block attack delay. Okay, good. Yeah, this was a big bug actually, so I glossed over it, but this made it basically useless, because if the move doesn't come out on the first frame, then you can't practice the meaties, which is the whole point of it. Now what's called fatal blows. Yep, fine. Fixed issue where down back punch crushing blows against airborne would cause background clipping. I've never seen that. Fix a rare issue that would cause throw cameras. Yeah, that's true. That used to happen to me all the time. When I was Garrus, I'd throw them and they'd go whoop! And they'd fly off the screen. Block attack punish is now probably displayed if a block attack is used to punish a cross up jump attack. Oh, so if you flawless block a cross up, I imagine. Some damage. Where'd you go for patch notes? Right here, my friend. In fact, let me make a command quickly, so that I'm sure plenty of people want to know. Custom commands. Patch. Bless you, my love. Thank you. But. They buffed Eren. Spoiler alert. Yeah. Yeah, you tell him, Dean. Yeah, so if you do exclamation mark patch. Hey, how you doing, Talon? Let's see if this works. Yeah, boom. So there you go. Some damage over time debuffs no longer linger on resurrecting characters. So there you go. That's an Eren nerf. Or down front punch attack can now be low and high parried. Down and front punch. Oh, so uppercut. Uppercuts can be low parried. That's interesting. When breakaway is performed, damage scaling is reset to a fixed value instead of a multi... Oh, that's very interesting. So what would happen is, when you did a breakaway before, it would massively scale the combo down. But now it's saying that when you hit with a breakaway, when somebody breakaways, so you do breakaway into fatal blow, and the fatal blow would be massively scaled. But now what happens when you get breakaway and somebody hits you with a move afterwards, it's reset to a fixed value. So now it's not going to scale as much. So if you fatal blow somebody after a breakaway now, it should do much more damage. You okay, my love?
Yeah.
I love you. Spoilers! I told him to phone you once he's in the car park. Do you want to take my phone then, just in case my dad calls? Love you. Minor... Okay, so that's all the general stuff. That's interesting. Combat League Online. Minor online stability improvements. Lol. I mean, I'll believe any of this shit. Add menu option to request a non-ranked set with opponent at the end of ranked. I'm not being funny. This is a cool quality of life thing, but at the same time, 9 times out of 10, I will never ever want to play you again. Unless I know you. There is no way. Imagine MK Javier beats you. You're gonna request a non-ranked set with him. Sorry guys, I'm really ill. I apologise if I'm coughing and making weird noises. I got about 20 minutes of sleep last night, so I'm running on fumes, but I couldn't not stream today. Towers of Time. Oh, Crypt. who cares? Towers of Time. Added new player module rewards. I don't care about any of this. Stage specific adjustments. Yeah, I did get Shiva, yeah. I'll show you at the end of this, but I've got all 3 of the new characters. After using a background interaction to jump on your opponent, they will no longer sometimes take a long time to turn around if they remain idle. Good, that was an annoying bug. Amplified background interactions no longer have throw immunity. Ooh, that's interesting. Cyberlink Quay assembly, fix a visual issue with Sawblade. Alright, fine. So just visual issues. Alright, so now we're getting to the meat and the veg, ladies and gentlemen. The character specific adjustments. Hold on, let's quickly see if we're updating before we get into this, because this is going to take us a while. PlayStation scene. Oh, it's still doing this. How do you download the update, Blitz? Right, we'll come back after this is downloaded. Okay. Baraka. Lunging blades, away and back punch has its repel region adjusted and now does 90 damage. Away and back punch. Back 2? Oh, the overhead. So the overhead has been buffed. Sorry guys, it's so mad how they don't just do the numbers. Everybody in this game uses number notations and they say like down, forward, back punch. Just say down, forward 1, man. Straight shank can now both be high and low parried. Down, forward, front punch. Oh, that's a thingy move. Blade charge now breaks armor. So that's his crushing blow move. So he doesn't have it in Marauder. Click options and click game update. Oh, cool. Okay, I'll check it out in a second. Thank you, guys. Fixed issue with leg kebab. Fixed rare issue. Cause okay, so very, very minor buff. That's fine. And his armor breaking move is the charge, where he just lunges at you and goes. Psah! I think that's the one. Because he's got that and he's got the flurry, but I'm guessing it's not the flurry with the armor breaking move. So he's only got it in one variation, so that's fine. I mean, Baraka's a very interesting character in the sense that in certain situations he's whack, and in certain situations he's unstoppable. So I guess it was a very tricky slope to know what to do with him, because if you go too far one way or another, he becomes absolutely useless or unstoppable. So yeah, I think keeping him more or less the same. I mean, I don't know what they potentially could have done to buff him, but keeping him more or less the same, I think, is a good idea, because yeah, one tweak either way, and he's going to be unstoppable. So yeah, Baraka came out okay, I guess. Cassie. Victim region while ducking slightly increased. Okay, so that's good. So it makes it easier to hit when she's ducking now. Get up, flawless block attack, up to. Is now 9 frames, down from 13. Recovers 4 frames faster on hit and has an adjusted hit reaction. Yeah, because her up to was absolute shit. So the fact that they've buffed that now. That's a massive buff for her, because her up to was awful. Adjusted the hit region of flipping out. So that's the move where she jumps and shoots. It was absolutely useless. Has now 13 less recovery frames and 10 more frames of blocks done. Okay, so they're trying to make it a bit more. Yeah, her up to was useless. Yeah. But they're trying to make flipping out a bit more practical now. We'll have to just... I'm sure we'll have to see that. Ballbuster can now be higher and low parried. Oh, so they've made it so that her escapes no longer cost meter in the ops spec. That's interesting. So it's not like Jackie where... Well, Jackie needs meter now, but... Damn, that's a massive buff to it. Flying glow kick now does 80 damage and can now be cancelled into fatal blow. Dang, okay, that's the one where she flies across the screen, which is plus. Has been buffed. Now breaks armor. Interesting. So she gets... So Baraka doesn't get a pop-up from his crushing blow, and Cassie doesn't... sorry, from his armor break, and Cassie doesn't get one either. So they've just absolutely buffed the crap out of Sup's OD. Adjusted the peak height travel... Hit more consistently. Okay, so they've buffed her fatal blow so that you can actually hit it in combos now. Fixed rare issue, fixed visual issue, fixed issue. Okay, so yeah. So Cassie's been buffed massively with her up 2 especially, but her Sup's OD is now a playable variation. Because that was one of the stupid things about this game, was that the third variations that they gave everybody, you could tell it was a little bit rushed because for the most part they were the leftover moves that weren't very good. So, they said that they were made competitive, but at the same time... Sorry, I haven't got a twitch, my neck's sore. And I'm just like, meh. At the same time, they were basically useless. So they've buffed the crap out of Sup's OD because they want people to play that variation, it seems. So, that'll be interesting to see how that people like Jordan will play there, and Fabs, obviously. See if that gets a little bit more play now, because I've never actually ever played a Sup's OD in ranked, so... hello Scorpion, how are you? Citron. Front punch. Ooh! So standing 1 has 4 more frames of recovery on block. Very good. Adjusted opponent's victim hit region towards back punch. So forward 2. Deadly Winds now performs an additional hit which can break armor before the tornado projectile. Shattering Boulder has been buffed. Why? Fix an issue with hallowing winds that could result in boulder bash causing an int... Oh. Wow. Avengers! Hey, thank you, Gil. How you doing, my man? Assemble. Thank you very much for the host. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm genuinely very surprised that that's the only buff... only nerf, sorry, for Cetrion. And they even buffed Boulder. So I'm just going to show you guys that I'm updating it. I think I've got all this stuff. Robocop, Shiva. Yeah, there's Shiva. I mean, you've downloaded it now, but... So we go to here. Update. Go to downloads. Nice, thank you guys. Can you tell me how hard? No, actually, from what I've been told, she's been buffed. Well, from what they said, they mentioned on the combat cast yesterday, she's been buffed quite extensively. But let me see. I just want to see if this start to download. I just want to see this start downloading, and then we'll go back to the patch notes. Yeah, it sounds like they've made it. It sounds like they've buffed her quite a lot from what they were saying on the combat cast yesterday. 4-4 is high mid now, and still is plus. Cannot download. Yes, there are, sir. Exclamation mark patch. That's what I'm reading right now, but hold on, I'm trying to download the update. There you go. Don't do me like that. 4%. Come on, guys. Please. Please prepare. Is it a massive file? Is that why it's taking so long? My internet's been suspect all day as well. Oh, there you go. Did you hear the fan? It's like... Hey, easy fight zone. 12 gigs. Alright, 60 minutes, so we've got plenty of time to go through the patch. Back to PC scene. Hey, C4, how you doing, my man? Are you well? Click on it. Yeah, it said 16 minutes, so we've got plenty of time to go through the patch. Yeah, so Cetron, exclamation mark patch. Boom. There you go. Take those notes. Yeah, I'm amazed that Cetron didn't get more nerf, to be honest with you, but that is still quite a big nerf, because basically her standing one was an insanely good stagger. She could just do dash standing one, and it was like getting staggered by a rushdown character, which she isn't. So that is a good nerf, but I'm amazed that they didn't nerf her more than that. So she's got away with murder. But again, we'll see how just because she hasn't been nerfed, let's just see how it relates to everybody else being buffed. We'll do a winners and losers at the end to see who we think's come off on top. Devorah. Towards back punch, up front punch, front kick. Now does 90 damage. Back 2-2. Oh no, forward 2-2. Oh really? Okay, so that string's been buffed. Buff, another buff. That's both. It's the same string, but they have different enders. So both of them have been buffed. Thanos must be happy. Crazy gamer. Bugging out. So 4-2-2 4. Been buffed. Which is her armor break move? Head victim region adjusted while performing infested. Swarm and amplify swarm now break armor. Oh, okay, so back forward 2. And recovers faster. So maybe you get a pop-up? Or restand rather, into another combo? No. The only thing you need to buy is the story. Actually, I don't even think you need to buy the story. The only thing you need to buy is the new characters, I think. All this stuff, all the updates are free, as far as I'm aware. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure all the stories are free. Or all the gameplay changes are free, sorry. Reduce the combo damage scaling. Oh, and she does a lot of damage on Widow's Kiss. So that's gonna do, she's gonna hit like a tank. No, you don't. You don't. So the story and the characters you have to buy, but everything else is free. So yeah. Okay, thank you guys. Yeah, so the story and the characters you pay, all the gameplay changes. I think it's a $5. I don't know. I pre-ordered it, so usually it's a $5 a character. I think. But it doesn't say on my one because I've bought them all already. But they're usually a $5. It's usually not more than a $5, I don't think. Yeah, friendship stage, new stages, friendship, everything else. Yeah, I think so. But you don't quote me on that because, like I said, I pre-ordered it, so I got it all in one whack. Yeah. So Devorah's been buffed. It's funny that they've just buffed that one string, but I guess that is one of her biggest strings because you get. Not only has it got massive range, but it's also one of her best Oki tools when you do a back throw. So the fact that they've buffed the damage on it, and it'll be interesting to see how Swarm and Swarm Amplify break armor. I wonder if it tells you in the moves list. Maybe we'll go through all the characters and check the moves lists. Oh yeah, we'll probably go through all the friendships as well and try them out. That's probably the first thing we'll do. See what everyone's friendships. But yeah, Devorah, I think she's come across okay. Definitely nothing's been nerfed, so... And I think this is a massive buff. Reduce the combo damage scaling. That's like her main confirm in Arachnophobia. So, and you can get like, especially if you hit them off an air throw, you can get like 60%. So, God knows how much damage she's going to be able to do now. Aaron Black. Is Josh here? Is Josh streaming? Yeah, Arachnophobia sounds mental. Aaron back. Front punch was 1-1. High Noon can now occurs 1 frame earlier and has 4 more recovery frames on hit. 2 less recovery frames on block and 1 more recovery. Okay, so 1-1 is less. So now he can stagger with 1-1 instead of just 2-1. front punch, back kick. So 114 has 2 less recovery frames. Adjusted away and front punch. Okay. Hideout, away, front punch, back punch, back punch. Pushing D, now do correct damage on block. Okay, so that's acid pour startup is 13 frames. Oh my gosh. Down from 17. Recovers 6 frames faster on block and 2 frames faster. They say buffed acid. No wonder Josh was so excited. Oh no, wait, is acid pour? That's the locked and loaded move, isn't it? That's not the pour, that's not acid. That's back forward 1 in locked and loaded, isn't it? Breaks armor. Nether Beast Trap Amplifier now has 10 less recovery frames. TNT Toss now starts up 3 frames faster. Adjusted the hit region. On the head, yeah. Ghost coins damage on hit. Okay, buff. Reload. Okay, that's interesting because before you couldn't in locked and loaded you couldn't do the up butt to carry on the combo, but you can now. Fix a rare issue which will not allow certain juggles to combo into acid pour crushing blow. Nether Beast Trap will no longer. Okay, so he's been buffed, but it seems less like a buff and more like a normalization. Because this is exactly the same thing as Cassie that I was saying before. Cassie's been changed because her variation 3 was made up of her whack moves that weren't normalized well enough for competitive play. And it's exactly the same thing for Aaron Black. They gave him his leftover moves like the trap and acid pour and they sucked. And they sort of just chucked them in but without really, addressing them. And now they've actually done... they've finally made that variation competitive, so that's good. Especially the acid pour, 13 frames. So now it's an actual reversal as well, which is good. Yeah, so Aaron's definitely been buffed. But like Cassie, you only get and Baraka actually. So they're trying to push the third variations, it seems, because so far all the characters that we've seen that have armors, crushing blows, it's all in their third variation. Hey, easy Papa, how you doing, my man? Frost. Back 2 now does 50 damage. Back 2 1 2 now does 67 damage. Chest cold can now be high and low parried. Cyberhead now breaks armor and causes a different reaction when it breaks armor. I don't know which move Cyberhead is. I'm guessing the one where she shoots it up. Cassie, they just buffed the crap out of variation 3, basically. Organ crushing blow now leaves opponent close to Frost. Fine. Fix the rate issue. Frost, yep, Frost has been buffed. I mean, again, she was in a weird place. I think she is quite an underestimated character. I'm scared to look at Garrus. She's quite an underestimated character, I think. So, even though she's not super top tier, she's got a lot of really good tools, and I feel like if they buffed her too much, potentially, I mean, maybe the head could have got a little bit of love because it's a bit rubbish, but again, nobody really uses it outside of Hey George, so it's maybe they know stuff that we don't know, and that as a result they're unwilling to buff it because they know that if somebody finds out the juice, then everybody's going to be screwed. But yeah, she's been buffed. Garrus. Oh my gosh. Down 4 can now be... Oh no, down 3. Oh, thank God. Can now be high and low parried. Fine. That wasn't a low anyway. Sand Trap and Quicksand now have Armor Breaker. Have an increased hit region when opponent is in a combo. I'll have to test the shit out of that. So, Sand Trap. Have an increased hit region when opponent is in a combo. We'll have to test that. Well, he didn't get nerfed. Or maybe I guess he did get nerfed because down 3's been... So he hasn't been touched. Whatever. Garrus, yeah, alright, Jackie. I don't even know what to say. Train to kill. So back 2-2 now does correct damage on block. Adjusted opponent's victim region during forward 3. Air dive bomb now breaks armor. So that's her variation 2 move. The dive bomb. Yeah, well, we'll test Garrus. No, see, now he doesn't. Now you can cash out on the... So the way that the armor break crushing... So the way that the armor break moves with crushing blows work is that they take away the requirement of the crushing blow. So instead of having to whiff 2 empty sand traps, you can now just use it as an armor break and you get the crushing blow on it. Hey, how you doing, Andy? So, yeah, you don't have to do both, but you use one instead of the other. So if somebody breaks away straight away and you use the... Yeah, we literally just spoke about it. It kills fatal blows. Potentially. But then it only says increased hit region on... in combos. Yeah, he finally got our patch alive, yeah. Yeah, so we can test that. That's a good question, actually. We'll test them to do fatal blow, and we'll see if the crushing blow it comes out when... Yeah, so did Cetron. Well, Cetron got a little nerf, but... Hyper Knee now breaks armor. Wow, so she gets 2. Why are you going to keep buffing Jackie, man? Why does Jackie get 2? Now breaks... So she has 1 in Dive Bomb and 1 in Hyper Knee. And she's got 2 crushing blow. She's got 2 armor breaks. Why? Why? Why has Jackie got 2? I don't even want to talk about Jackie. Jade. Away, front punch, back 1 now causes 5 more frames of block stun. The last hit of back 2 now has 5 more frames of block stun with increased putback 5 more frames. Why are you going to add pushback on block on anything? Why? Why? Yeah, no, but every other character so far before Jackie only has 1. Yeah, it's true. So now Jackie has 2 for some reason. Jackie's the only character we've seen so far that has 2. So that string got buffed. Towards back punch, front punch. Front punch, 1, 2, 4. Crushing blow. Oh, so that's the slap into the knee. Blazing Nitro Kick now breaks armor. Of course it does. Fixed an issue. Okay, so Jade's slightly buffed. Back 2, I'm curious about that back 2 buff, because you used to be able to punish it with standing 1 with Garrus. I know standing 1's pretty good, but... Yeah, PC, I mean... PC. that's the PC price, unfortunately. You want to play in 60 FPS? You have to wait a week. But yeah, it will definitely be today though. Jax. Yeah, Jade's just been buffed a little bit. I mean, again, there's not really much you can do to her to make her not to change her really. Jax. Quick drill. Down, front punch. Okay, so down 1, 2 can now be both high and low parried. Away, front kick. Back 3, 2, been buffed. Back 3, 2. Okay, into the throw. It's been nerfed a little bit. Reduce the combo damage on ripped amplify. Briggs barricade. Is slightly less active but recovers faster. Lethal clap has now 2 more active frames. Another character whose armor break move is only in their 3rd variation. Lethal Clap now breaks armor. Well, but I mean, he seems like he's the same. He's been slightly buffed. He's been slightly nerfed. Haven't really done much with him. It'll be interesting to see how Jordan plays him. Yeah, seems to have gotten away. There's nothing, again, how could you nerf him, really? People are saying he's too safe, but he doesn't do, outside of his crushing blows, he doesn't do that much damage, so. Johnny Cage. 1, 2, oh, thank Jesus. 124 has 5 frames less of block stun. Oh, phew. So now he's not +6 after everything. Now he's going to be, what, +1 or evens? Oh, thank Jesus. And Flippy Kick is his armor break, so he doesn't get it in outtake. Oh my gosh, thank you, NetherRealm. Thank you, NetherRealm. That was so stupid. Johnny's been normalized, ladies and gentlemen. Finally. So now he's not +6 after everything. So now he's either 0, he's +1 or 0, but it's less terrifying in the corner now when he just starts doing 1, 2, 4 over and over again. This is the first change that I've seen so far in the patch notes where I'm like, yes, thank you. That is a hella change. Everything else has just been like, make 20%, make the. This is like, yes, hold that shit. No, outtake doesn't have the armor breaker. It's only Flippy Kick. So probably people will still play. I mean, he still does 50% unbreakable combos in Showstopper. So, you know, that hasn't been changed. But this is the sort of nerf that I wanted for Cetrion. Why just nerf Johnny like that? It's so strange. But, meh. Finally, Johnny has been normalized. Yeah, but that was before. I mean, if Flippy Kick breaks armor and gives you a combo opportunity, and you can restand with the glasses, with the camera, then you don't know, man. I don't see why you'd pick outtake instead of, you pick outtake for the zoning, I guess. But if you want combo damage or rush down, you'd go for an armor break. You'd go for variation 2 still. So yeah, Johnny Cage finally normalized. Still probably an S tier character, but just not as easy to play as he once was. Cabal. Head victim region adjusted while performing hook grab. Hook slam now does 100 damage. And no longer causes extra combo damage before the final hit. Okay. Hook slam now breaks armor and has an alternate crushing blow condition breaks armor, which causes a different hit reaction when triggered. So that probably is a pop-up when it breaks armor. Yeah, but it's also unbreakable with the crushing blow, remember? With the glasses. So, we'll see. I mean, we'll definitely see. Hook amplifies, been slightly nerfed. Slightly increased combo scaling. Nomad spin now only causes damage. Scaling on the final hit. Nomad spin only causes damage. Okay. Extended hook. Okay, so he's been nerfed very slightly. He's been nerfed very slightly. I mean, Cabal's sort of always like lingered in that like top tier, just outside of the top 10, maybe in the top 10, you know, flipping backwards and forwards. I mean, he's still got no gaps on any of his strings. They've just made him do less damage, so he still does tons of damage. He's still got all of his mix-ups in you know, like run cancels still plus, and no gaps in any of his strings, and all of his strings are still safe. So I think he got away with a lot, to be honest with you. but he has been nerfed slightly. So slight nerfs for Cabal. Kano. Back 1 has 5 less recovery frames of miss, and now occurs 5 frames earlier. So that probably means that you're closer, because back 1 you proper slice away. So it probably means that you're closer now, and then it's his armor break move, so that makes sense. Okay. That's fine. They've buffed it because that's his. So I think that's probably going to be a running theme, right? You're going to see whatever move that they've given as the armor break is going to be slightly buffed, because they want you to be able to use it in combos and stuff. So yeah, Kano is fine. Katana. Last hit of leave now has 5 more frames of block stun with increased pushback. Punishment now has 5 more frames of block stun. Square wave and air square wave. I have an alternate crushing blow. I mean, it's not really... It's a slight buff, but it's not right. It's not like... She got her big buffs in the last patch. So, this means that these 2 strings have a bit more block stun now. But they're still dial-ins, so... It's not like a... It's not the end of the world. Kotor. Oh, sorry, the Collector. Warquake now requires 1 ability slots. Oh, okay, so they've buffed it. Relic Lore has 16 frames, 10 more active... Oh, bloody hell, so they've actually made it good. That's probably going to because it says armor break. Now breaks armor, yeah. So another one, Collector's another character where they've buffed his level 3 because they've realised that they did a bodge job with his level 3, with his 3rd variation, and now they're making it so that his 3rd variation is viable. 16 frames down from 27, 10 more active frames, 4 more recovery frames on block, and 11 more recovery frames on miss. Adjusted the hit region with reduced combo damage scaling. Fine. Relicular has a different hit reaction. So Collector massively buffed. Variation 3. Yeah. Warquake is Chakram. Relicular has been massively buffed. Fix the right issue. Yeah, I mean that's again, like Cassie, like Eren, they've just buffed his level 3, so it keeps saying level 3, his 3rd variation. So those are massive buffs though. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Kotal Khan. So his uppercut, not the uppercut, the sword, now breaks armor and has 16 frames startup. Now has an alternate crushing blow condition. Fix an issue. Just be parried. More amplify, recovers 1 frame faster. Oh wow. So they've made the cat attacks safer. Totem buffs when stacked correctly. Okay, so now you can't do 2 offense and a defense and get all 3. So that's good. Damage scaling on the final hit. So Cole's been buffed again. So he's still got 1,100 health. He still hits like a tank. He doesn't get his armor break in his 1st variation, but he gets it in 2nd. So they've buffed Totemic. Is Totemic the 2nd one? It is, isn't it? Yeah. So they've buffed Totemic. God knows why they haven't taken his health down, but yeah, they've buffed the crap out of Totemic for some reason. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, Cecil plays Totemic, but that's the only person that I really know that plays it. But so he's been buffed. So I mean, the running theme of this, apart from Cabal and Johnny, everybody's been buffed. Nobody's. I mean, it's apart from Garrus. They've all had like really minor, like either massive buffs to their third variations, which were completely useless, or just very minor buffs. I mean, it was a nerf. It's a nerf, but it's also a bug. It wasn't. It wasn't. You weren't supposed to get all 3 tome effects. Yeah, so it's not. Yeah, it's more of a bug. It's like Garrus and the Gauntlet, lasting forever. It's a nerf, but it wasn't an intended mechanic. So Kung Lao adjusted opponent hit region. 2-1. So that's the punch with the hat throw. Towards forward 2-1. Has 5 more frames of block stun. Oh my god. Shaolin Slam has 16 less recovery frames on hit, which means that he gets much better Oki. Shaolin Drop. Is Shaolin Drop the dive kick? So dive kick is the armor break. Flip kick up 3 has been nerfed. Good, because that was stupid. Variation 3 buffs again. Oh, bug fixes. Okay. So yeah, he's been buffed for some reason. Wop 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 wop. Liu Kang. 1-2 now has 5 less block stun frames. So it went from being +3 to what, -2? Wow, that's a big nerf. That's a really big nerf. Especially if it's still double high. Adjusted opponent's victim region on back 2. Kusuri Slam, so that's the command throw, right? Breaks armor. Bicycle kick amplifier can now be formed twice after back 2. So that's the overhead. So Lu's been nerfed very slightly. And similarly to Johnny. So now you can't just hit people. You can't just use like that oppressive. Yeah, it's not. His rushdown isn't as oppressive now. But, you know, nothing else has been changed. So if you're going to get opened up with 1, it just means you can press after 1-2 now. So people are probably just going to stagger it more with just 1-2-4 instead of 1-2-3, whatever it is. But that is a big nerf. That's like Johnny's now. So Lulu with a slight nerf. Noob. Back 2. Now has 3 more active frames. What's back 2? Dark. Oh, is that the one where he goes with the... Ah. So that's his armor break move? That's interesting. And can be confirmed into. Interesting. Oh, sickle toss no longer be parried. Lol. And they've increased the active frames of his fatal blow. Okay. So, yeah, I guess a slight buff. I'm surprised they didn't nerf Seeing Double a little bit, but... Oh, Raiden. Woo! Yeah, these one of the 3 worst characters. So I think Raiden, Scarlet, and Shao are going to be the 3 ones that are probably going to have the most changes. So back 1-2 now has 6 less recovery frames. So now it's -3 instead of being -9, which is amazing. 5 less block stun frames. Oh no, it's -4. Can now be combo attack cancelled on block. And it's a cancel occurs 1 frame earlier. So that's a massive buff, yeah. Finally he has a safe mid that he can use to... Now he doesn't have to Superman cancel after back 1-2 or like just randomly special move cancel it because it's safe. So that's a massive change. Back 1-2. Oh yeah, so now this works like Terminator's forward 2-1-3. So now back 1-2. So the ender of it is a throw, but now beforehand it was a hit throw. So if you hit with the combo, then it would throw. But now you can do it on block, and if they high block it, it will throw them. So that's a massive buff as well. Raiden, it hits just the hit region of forward 1. Oh, thank God. Yeah, forward 1, forward 1-1, and forward... Yeah, because the hit region... Because forward 1 is the staff, and he's like... Meh! So you weren't ever going to hit anything with that, so... That's good. That's a massive buff as well. Back 2 has now increased block pushback. So that means that his overhead isn't as punishable. I mean, it's still minus a million, but it's not as punishable now. Forward 2 has 5 more frames of block stun. So that's the dash forward. Meh. Front kick 3-2-1. More block stun. Back 3-1 can now be combo attack cancelled on block or miss. Ooh, that's interesting. I mean, it still has the gap, but at least it's a better stagger now. Oh, so sorry. Bite of Bordalis. Back 3-1. Yeah, so this was like back 1-2, 1-3. This had an ender as no now. Now hits mid, has 1 more frame of recovery, 5 more blocks done, increased block pushback, and a different grounded hit reaction. Interesting. Massive destruction. Forward 3-2. Ooh, now hits overhead. So he has 2 overheads. So he's got back 1-4 and back 3 and forward 3-2. That's really good. It's really good. Lightning Bolt now has 27 frames of startup. Fine. Lightning Bolt Amplify. Okay, so it's more safe now. First two... Oh, thank God. So now if you confirm into Storm Cell... Because before what would happen is you'd Storm Cell them, which is the lightning move. And then they wouldn't break because... they'd break straight away. And then... you'd still be going like this, like an arsehole, and they'd get up and smoke you. So, yeah, that's amazing that they've changed. They've made it so it's like Katana and Cetron now. That's a really big buff. Electric Fly can no longer be parried. I didn't even know it could be parried. Electric Fly, Amplify, Crushing Blow, Travel Distance, slightly reduced. Summon Lightning now breaks armor. Oh, so that's the down back 2. So he only has it in variation 2. That's interesting. So only Raiden has the armor break, which arguably makes it even stronger now. The initial hit of Lightning Rod has been buffed. Slight buff to Truth and Light. So I mean, Raiden, yeah, Raiden. Massive. So far, the biggest, by far and away, the biggest winner of the patch. Having a safe mid-string is insane. So, and Storm Cell as well, not being breakaway. I mean, it's everything. Everything is just out. Now he's an actual character. So before this, he was a joke character. Now he's an actual character. 4-3-2 being an overhead is really good. You know, fixing the hitbox on forward 1. Honestly, every single one of these changes, he's finally a real character. So that's very for the long-suffering Raiden mains. Like, no, they're not gonna nerf him, bro. He's been rubbish for too long. There's no way they're gonna nerf him. He is normalized. This is the normalized version of Raiden. Before he was subpar. Now he's an actual character. Now he's a normal character. You know, people can't just break out of his best moves and give him a full combo punish because he hit confirmed. Yeah, really, really happy. Stutter, Plural Might, all of those guys. Echo. Scorpion. Adjusted opponent's victim region during the reaction to back 1. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know what that does. Flip kick. So now he has a 22 frame overhead, which is back 3. Now breaks armor. So this is the pop-up. So his overhead is the pop-up. He's probably reading it. I think he's at work. If he's not at work, he's probably doing backflips in his bedroom. Back throw now has a crushing blow. Oh shit, really? Burning Spear Amplify been buffed. Misery. So Scorpion's with a few big buffs, man. 22 frame overhead makes it one of the faster ones. He gets a pop-up when he armor breaks. And back throw now has a... So he's got a crushing blow on his forward and his back throw. Has a different hit reaction. I mean... Hey, easier. You need to... I don't know why you can't. You need to go to the store and find it that way. So you go to the store, you have to download everything separately. It doesn't apart from the actual update, none of the content is uploaded automatically. How you doing anyway, Ray? Yeah, so Scorpion buffed, I guess. No, he's on PlayStation. Scarlet. Back 1-2. Now has 3 frames less of recovery. Noise. Back 2 towards back punch. Forward 2. Now has 4 less recovery frames. Forward 2-1 is now 25. I mean, it's still got a gap, but fine. Back 2 has 5 less recovery frames. And 10 more. Yeah, so this is what Stephanie was talking about yesterday. So what that means is now they just get spiked. Yeah, I'm alright, thank you. Yeah, you have to just go to the store and download everything individually, and that's why it's just a ball ache. Crack the whip. Now it's 19 frames. Back kick back. So this is 4-4. So this is 4-4 is the high before, which was +4 or 5 whatever it is. Now it's high mid. So that's a massive buff. That is an absolutely massive buff. So you're still probably going to get down 2'd on the first hit, but you can't down 2 the second hit. So that's really good. Blood Splatter now has 2 less frames of startup. I can't remember which one Blood Splatter is. Yeah, it's all there, bro. If you pre-ordered it, you just have to download them individually. Blood Splatter Amplify. Blood Pour is faster. Yeah, so Scarlet, another character. I mean... It's not like it's some like 4-4 being a mid. That's a massive buff. These aren't like. This is probably her only really game change. Well, probably the overhead and 4-4 probably her massive buffs. Blood Splatter. Which one's Blood Splatter? It must be the slow ball, right? We can check. But yeah, Scarlet finally has received a bit of love. And she desperately needed it. So that's good. Sonya. Adjusted the hit region. Fine. Forward 2 has now 5 more frames of block stun. Towards front kick now breaks armor. Okay, so that's the kicky move that she does where she goes purr. So... Jim's hungry. What do you mean? I'm not hungry. I didn't sleep. I've had 20 minutes of sleep. I just could not sleep last night, so I'm starting to feel it now. So another look, Sonya, another 3. Look, all the turret stuff. So finally, again, they've made it so that her variation. I mean, it's still shit and by far the worst of the 3, but just been slightly buffed. So Sonya's exactly the same, really, because nobody's going to play Variation 3. Sub-Zero. So forward 4. Slightly faster now, so you can do it in combos. I mean, again, Sub-Zero like Baraka. Why didn't you sleep? I don't know. I actually couldn't tell you. I just couldn't. I was just lying there like this. Got to 5 o'clock in the morning. I just started playing on my phone. I just couldn't be bothered to lie there anymore. Yeah, Sub-Zero like Baraka. A lot of people underestimate him, I think, a little bit outside of online. But there's not a lot you can do to him that doesn't completely new to him. So, I mean, I don't know where you would get forward 4. I mean, maybe only after a back 2 or a jump kick, maybe. But, meh. Sub-Zero is still a devastating character. Shao Kahn. Forward 3-4 can now be special cancelled. Finally. Shao Bugs. Yeah, well, here you are. Yeah, 4-3-4 finally lets you special cancel. And now, like Raiden's back 1-2, 1-3, it's the same thing. Now, the last hit of the backbreak is a throw. So, if he finishes off the string and you don't neutral duck it, you're going to get grabbed. So, be wary of that. Back 3 now does 70 damage. So, Dean's favourite move, happy about that. The boom, the massive thing, now does much more damage. And you can probably get much better combos from it as well. 7 less recovery frames on hit. So yeah, that's a massive buff. Khan kick is forward 4, now does more damage. Shoulder charge amplified down, so that's one of his... I've heard he's got 3 armor breaks. So he's got the shoulder charge down hit, breaks armor, and gives a pop-up. Spear charge amplify. So that's the third variation of the dash. Scum grab now breaks armor, and skewered now breaks armor. So he's got 2 armor breaks in his first 2 variations and 1 armor break in his third variation. So, interesting. Adjusted the hit region of ground. Shatter has a different area. So that's the second variation, or the first variation, yeah. So he's got 3 armor breaks. So he's got the most in the game so far. So if they break, you can scum grab. Now, I don't know what it means by breaks armor. Because different hit reaction means pop-up. That's what different hit reaction means. But breaks armor, does that just mean that you get the damage from the move will just go through the armor? So like before, if you were to scum grab and they break away, obviously they just fall on the floor. But now, does that mean that you can just do it and get the full damage? We'll have to test. So yeah, Shao Kahn, massive buffs. Not as much as Raiden, but still, I mean, even if he just got forward 3-4 is now special cancelable, would be a massive buff by itself. But forward 3-4 being special cancelable, the last hit being a true throw, and back 3 being massively buffed, and having 3 armor break moves. I mean, he still doesn't have a jailing standing 1, so he's still going to get mashed on, but still, massive buffs. Jordan et al. Be very happy with that. Shang Tsung, the main character of Aftermath. Hit reaction of back 1, down 2. Now leaves the opponent slightly closer. Okay, so it makes it easier to combo. Back 2 is now plus 13. Forward 2 is now plus 9 on hits. Forward 2, 4 is now plus 13 on hit. So they've just made all of his moves more plus on hit. So I'm guessing that means that they're easier to cancel into now. So you can probably get much more combo routes. If they're all plus on hit, it probably just means you can combo into different stuff. Morphing back into Shang Tsung after Stalker is finished now enables blocking in 3 frames. Oh, so you don't randomly morph back and then you get smashed. That's a massive buff. Scatter Souls has now 25 frames. So this is changes to his second variation, which was the useless one, the Spellmaster. So he gets the armor break in his second variation. Now change charge level 2 and 3. More block frames, more pushback. It's 15 more frames of block stun. Fix a rare issue. One morphed. Oh, so these are just bug fixes. So yeah, Shang's received a lot of buffs, especially to Spellmaster. So yeah, I think the running theme of this variation is finally making those crap unused variations actually viable now. Because his only armor break is in Spellmaster, and they've changed Scatter Souls so that it's actually practical now. So yeah, I'd say a lot of buffs for Shang. It'll be interesting to see how these plus frames work in his combos now. On hit. Yeah, that's cool. Nightwolf. Back. So 2-2, 1-3. Oh, so that's in Ancestral Gift. Now hits as a throw. So again, you have to block. You have to duck, neutral duck the last hit, otherwise you get grabbed. Back 3, 2. Oh, it's the same one. But now has more block stun frames. 3-1-2 now leaves the opponent slightly closer to Nightwolf, so you get better Oki. Tomahawk Swing now breaks armor and has an alternate crushing blow. So that's his command grab. So his command grab is the armor break. Fine. Spirit Tracks. That's just a bunch of crap. Okay, so actually, Spirit Tracks Amplifier with Ancestral Hunter ability equipped now has 9 frames of startup. Oh, so you should be able to. Sorry, you should be able to combo better in Shaman. That'll be interesting to check because there's certain moves like 1-1-1 doesn't combo into Spirit Tracks Amplifier because it takes you long to start up. So. That'll be interesting. So they've buffed, again, Ancestral Gift is the least used of the... Well, I think actually Shaman probably is, but they've buffed the crap out of Ancestral Gift, so... Shows you that that's the one that they want you to use. But Variation 1 is still super strong. Terminator. Incapacitates now deals 50. Gorilla Press Slam, so his command grab now breaks armor. Okay, so Terminator not touched at all, really. It's a very slight buff. Yeah, I guess he's a really strong character, very underutilized, massive damage, massive mix-up potentials. It's a little bit tougher to play. I think it requires a little bit more execution than a lot of characters, and you do need to get in with him, but you know, he's got that devastating mix. So yeah, I don't think he needed to be nerfed. Main Squeeze now breaks armor. So that's the hair flip. Oh, she hasn't been touched at all. Interesting. Sindel's exactly the same. Joker. Hey, easy fight zone. Forward 1 has been nerfed. Standing 2 has been nerfed slightly. The Jack in the Box is the armor break. So very slight damageness. I mean, Joker, the more Jokers I fight, the more I find he's a problem, but again, still early days, I guess. Sonic Fox winning final combat with Joker I guess they didn't feel like that there was enough changes. There wasn't enough there to nerf. So Joker, I think, escaped extremely unscathed. Nothing really. The last few have been, they've buffed Nightwolf's Variation 2, they've buffed Shang's Variation 2, they've buffed Shao massively. That's really the last three. And lastly, Spawn. Standing 2 now has more frames of block stun. Forward 2 3 is now +7 on hit. Oh yeah, because it used to be punishable on hit. That was really stupid. So they finally changed that. The first hit of charging Hellspawn amplifies, so that's his pop-up. That's fine. Slightly reduced the gravity on hit. Oh, so you can probably get more. So that was the up chains move. That's cool because that means that you can get more combos off that now. Down 2 is no longer invulnerable to high attacks. Wow, I didn't even know that. And then issues. So, yeah, I mean, a very, very interesting patch. They did, Stephanie did say yesterday on the Combat Cast, they didn't want to change too much. And I don't think they have, to be honest with you. Outside of the addition for every character having an armor break. I mean, if we go from the top, we can go through and see if they're a winner or a loser, right? Baraka, about the same. Cassie, big winner, especially Variation 3. Citron, a big winner by proxy because she didn't get nerfed. Devorah, buffed. Aaron Black, Variation 3, massive buff. Frost, about the same. Garrus, about the same. Jackie, about the same. She has 2 armor breaks for some reason. Jade, slight buff. Jax, slight buff. Johnny, massive nerf. Understandably. Yeah, that is it, Fight Zone. Johnny, massive nerfs, but now he's less... No, you're right, it's Variation 3. It's not... No, Variation 3 is the gun hit into the acid and the bear trap, and Variation 2 is the command grab and the dynamite and the slide cancel. So command grab's in Variation 2. Johnny, massive nerfs, thank God. He's still a super strong character. His damage wasn't touched, but now you actually have to use a brain when you're playing him. You don't just sit in the corner eating +6 over and over again. Cabal, very, very slight nerf. Kano, about the same, slight buff. Katana, slight buff. Collector, massive buff to Variation 3. Kotl, buffed for some reason. Kung Lao, buffed for some reason. Lu, nerfed, but still strong. Noob's the same. Raiden, I think Raiden's, without a doubt, Raiden's the biggest winner of this patch, right? He's almost been completely reworked. So, you know, he arguably the worst character in the game outside of Scarlet and Shao finally has been normalized to the point where he's an actual character. So, yeah, finally. Raiden mains, rejoice. You have a character. Scorpion has been buffed. So that's good. Scarlet's been buffed. 4-4 being a mid now is a very, very big buff. And back to having more hits of frame advantage means that you got much better Oki. So that's really good as well. Yeah, that's true. And Variation 2 is the one that has the armor break as well. And it's an actual... Like before it was 14 frames, so you weren't catching anybody with it, but now it's 11 frames, so much easier to catch people with it. Sonya's the same. Sub-Zero's the same. Shao, massive buffs. Not as much as Raiden. I think it goes Raiden, Shao, Scarlet are probably the 3 biggest winners of like the actual patch in terms of changes, but Collector definitely is up there as well. And Cassie. Shang, loads of changes to Spellmaster, but I don't know how good Spellmaster is anyway because I don't see anybody really use it. So it'll be interesting to see how exactly it gets, what difference it's going to make in the grand scheme of things. Nightwolf, big buff to Ancestral Gift. Also a big buff to Spirit Tracks. We can test that out afterwards as well. because that means he gets much more damage on his combos. What else? Terminator's the same. Sindel the same. Joker slight nerf. Spawn slight buff. So yeah, I mean, really, it wasn't as... there weren't as many sweeping changes as maybe I had imagined or wanted. But they have adjusted a lot of things that I didn't like Johnny. I mean, Jackie's still the same. It's a weird one. It's a really weird patch. I think ultimately it is positive because you don't want anybody getting nerfed into being obsolete, right? That's the worst thing. I hate it when they... Like, I wouldn't have wanted them to nerf Cetron into Oblivion and then make her completely useless. But hopefully... Because Raiden was always a good matchup for Cetron anyway. Maybe now that they've nerfed these... They've buffed these, like, lesser used characters, it's going to make... Yeah, I think this is a step in the right direction. I mean, maybe I was expecting a bit more in terms of nerfs, but... Nobody really, apart from Johnny, nobody really got like massive gameplay changing nerfs. I mean, Johnny's still only slightly minus now, or slightly plus, depending on which move you want. But, you know, he still has the damage, he still has all those other options as well. And remember as well, every character with their armor break, obviously there's certain things that happens with, like there's different things. So there's breaks armor, crush this. So some just get crushing blows, breaks armor. There's some that just give different effect, like Scorpion's one, which means you get a pop-up. Different hit reaction means a pop-up. And there's some like Shao's, which just say now breaks armor. So depending on what as well, even though your character might not seem like he's been buffed a lot, depending on how good their armor break move is, maybe that's a big buff as well. So yeah, very interesting patch. I think it is definitely, as Fightson said, definitely a step in the right direction. I really like how they've taken a look at all of these much lesser used variations. Like Collect has been massively buffed with that Relic Lure as well. And he's going to hit like a tank now. Relic Lure's been buffed. Totemic's been buffed. Sup's OD's been buffed. You know, all of these, like Jax's armor break is only in his third variation. So yeah, all of these characters, Aaron Black as well, they've buffed massively his third variation. So all of these characters who, you know, who are strong, like Cassie's still a strong character, Aaron's still a strong character, you know. Collector maybe not as strong, but they've all been given the option now, depending on how you want to play. So yeah, I like it. I think there's all a very good step in the right direction.